Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald, and I'm doing a reading here for you today for Monday, July 14th, 2025. We have the Strength card showing up for us today out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck. I do feel like this is a time for us to program ourselves for change. I think change is always around every corner. Change is inevitable, but this is a time for you to really get yourself into a space where you're nurturing yourself and your ideas to bring them into fruition. So I really feel like this is more of like an Empress energy kind of underlying this Strength card. Really a time for us to start to try to embody our higher selves, right? Bring ourselves back to a new life, so to speak. And I do feel like this is a time where you could really harness that energy. Perhaps you are seeing the signs, perhaps you're feeling some nervous energy, some restlessness, perhaps you have some ruminating thoughts. These are all things that are starting to surface to clear to really help you to get in line with your intentions. Okay, so we're clearing this so that we can get clarity. Essentially, you could have had some things recently come to the surface, a revelation about something, and now you're really just trying to gather your thoughts and figure out what is your next course of action. I do feel like right now there could be a time of quiet reflection, and perhaps where some of these thoughts are kind of coming up for us more frequently than we would like. It would be very beneficial for you to take some time to get grounded and do some clearing, and you could do that by a simple walk in the woods and just soak up that soothing energy. And in that quiet reflection, in that walk, is where you could gain some clarity. It could help to settle some of those thoughts. And I really feel like it's almost like you're a ninja and you're entering stealth mode, right? Where we want to channel this nervous energy, right? Because that can be chaotic. You could be all over the place. But to really channel that into constructive energy and bring that back, like taming that beast of that inner lion, right? That's what that Strength card is really all about. So instead of being boastful, we really or angry, right? Even there could be an underlying like feeling of anger where you're intensely emotional about things, but it could also be like marked by extreme attitude changes and things of that nature, where you're becoming hypercritical of yourself or others or situations, where you're looking for those faults, finding faults. But here's the key: if it is anger, then it's more of a focused energy than an anxiety, right? So if you allow yourself to settle your thoughts, to feel those emotions, that's where that's the key to harnessing that energy. You're able to easily channel that into something a little bit more constructive, because we don't want to waste that energy, right? We want to feel it and heal it and release it. But then there's this whole aspect to it where you can decide for yourself that that's not how you want to feel, but you could use this energy and it could be more constructive going forward to help to program you for that change. So this isn't how I want to feel, but how do I want to feel, and what is my plan to get there? So I feel with this, there is a turn of events coming in for us, and you know, this feeling of like seizing the day, and where you'll be turning the chapter page, right? Where you'll be going from one point in your life to another, and it will be very obvious to you when this happens. And I feel like you're going to be kind of standing there seeing this all happen almost in shock, where you like are going to feel like, my gosh, I'm here to witness this. I'm here. It's truthful. I'm seeing it happen, and you are the evidence of that happening, right? You're living proof, and it's going to be a strikingly different path for you. That's the word that is coming through: strikingly different path. So it could happen all of a sudden. I do feel like this could come in with a phone call. Perhaps you get news of something that changes your life drastically. Perhaps an opportunity even is taken away from you. It's no longer available to you. Perhaps you are the scapegoat for a situation and you are taking responsibility for things that happened within the circumstances, and there were many people involved. But the key here is, yes, you might be angry about those things, but to know that this was all by design. I really feel like you will bear the brunt of those consequences, but that's part of the divine plan. Because with the opportunity or sticking with that path, you are giving in to the circumstance and not really allowing yourself to make the choices that you want. And so it's not taking that safe route, but really putting yourself on a path of something more, something better. And so, I really feel like this is coming in for you as a metamorphosis of a sort, right? Where there is this feeling of things no longer being for you, and it's just something that you feel in your gut. It's like this death of who you once were to become who you're meant to be. And I really feel that with this transformation, you're going to gain a lot of perspective, right, through this experience. So your values, they might stay the same. They'll hold steady, but I do feel like there could be a shift in your beliefs where you'll be having more faith than you've ever had before. And perhaps you'll feel compelled to start to take some courses, some sort of a class, a spiritual class. And I do feel like if you were to seize that opportunity, you could end up having a conversation with somebody or many different people. And that's going to really help you to gain a lot of that insight into what is my next step then. Now I have this new perspective. It's giving you an opportunity to reflect on what it is that's going to be the next best step for you. So I feel like you've embarked on this intense journey, and now you might be feeling compelled to do a lot of self-discovery, right? Which is where those new classes come in, where you're going to put tools in your tool belt and really decide to try something new, perhaps, right? And this is going to help you define what is now true for you, because what was true for you in the past is no longer true for you, right? You just feel that it is no longer resonating. You're no longer meant to be in that situation. You're no longer aligned to some of those beliefs that you once held. And so you're going to feel this in your core. And I feel like with all of this, there's this steadiness and patience and compassion that you're feeling, not just for others, but for yourself, right? Where you once had this like knee-jerk reaction where you were maybe very impulsive, and now you're willing to wait or to be patient and really allow your intuition to guide you to feel out, is this the right path for me? Is this the right choice for me? And this is where you'll start to embody some of these truths that are now evident in your life, things that your beliefs once were something completely different, and now you're starting to believe something completely different, right? And so this is a time for you to stand tall, stand proud in who you are, know that you're deserving and worthy, and know that something better is coming. Because if you're wondering why, like, you couldn't see this all along, why wasn't I seeing this in this way this whole time? It is purposeful, because if you were seeing that with this new perspective, then you wouldn't have gone through those lessons that have formed you and shaped you and molded you into the person that you have become today. So this new opportunity, this next best thing, it could be coming in. You're going to feel like it's out of the blue, because once you've turned that page and you've started down that path of self-discovery, you're going to get lost in it, and you're going to start to love your life. You're going to fall in love with your life. And, you know, this is feeling renewed and refreshed. I just get this like whole springtime energy with that, where you're like awakening and blossoming into who you were meant to be this whole time. And so these could be this opportunity coming in. It could be a result of intentions that you set in this past spring as well. And you might start to see that all coming into fruition, where like perhaps in the springtime when you set those intentions and planted those seeds of intention, perhaps you were feeling deflated, defeated, right? And now you're starting to have this new hope come in for you. And that's where that faith kind of comes in as well, where you're having more faith than ever before. And see, this new hope comes in and you're falling in love with your life. You're celebrating little joys. And, you know, it's compelling because it is creating this profound change for you. You are seeing your environment then change to match your energy and match what it is that you're calling in and these intentions that you had set. And so this is a really beautiful thing. It's a journey to alignment. And I think that signs for you could be perhaps hearing a bell, seeing a bell. Perhaps you're hearing church bells as you're driving past the church, right? This is all going to be a sign that you are on the right path. So pay attention to your thoughts when that comes in for you. You could take that moment to set a intention or say a prayer. And also one other thing that could be a sign for you would be the number 10 or the angel number 1010 coming in. And this is a signal to you that in that moment, you're completely in alignment. You're fully supported by divine energy. And this could be marking the transition point for you, right? Of one phase to the next. And it could indicate to you just like a little wink from the universe that it is done. And so when you see that, you could even see something showing up for you in regards to the opportunity, or like you'll just know that feeling that like somebody presents an opportunity or someone shows up in your life, right? Things like that. It could happen after you see the 1010 within like 24 to 48 hours, and it will be like a miraculous turnaround for you. But the key here too is to remember to create things in life that bring you joy. So routines in life that bring you joy. It's cyclical, and it could help you to really celebrate those joys, to call in that energy and you know, stay in alignment with what you're on the path for. So whether you get joy out of drinking coffee every morning or drinking tea every evening, or perhaps you've implemented a skincare routine, right? Perhaps you take the dog for a walk a certain time every day, and that's when you focus on your breathing, right? These are things that we can do, routines we can incorporate to celebrate those little joys, to call in this profound change. Ultimately, it will help to guide us to our next best path. So I hope this reading resonates for you. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you feel inclined to share, that is always a welcome thing to do if you know somebody that might benefit from also hearing this message today. And as always, I will be back with another reading for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.